Welcome to the Shelf Learner, educating myself with the books from my shelf. Welcome to the Self Learner Shed. In today's video, we're going to discuss Chapter 6 of Read and Grow Rich by Burke, Hedges. Just as a recap from the last video, in Chapter 5 we talked about the readers and read-nots versus the haves and have-nots. The author did a great job showing the correlation between those people who read and their level of success in life, in particular financially as far as their annual earnings. But in this particular chapter, which is titled Everyone, Including You, Can Read and Grow Rich, the author shares about the stories of 7 individuals who had challenges that they were able to overcome by reading books. He talked about Carol, who was a widow at the age of 46. She was married, stay-at-home mom. She had 2 teenage kids, and her husband had passed away tragically in a car accident. So she had to rebuild her life, and she ended up going to books as sources of inspiration to be able to get back on her feet. He talks about a person who migrated from the Belize. He was an illiterate Los Angeles minister. But through reading, he was able to obtain his citizenship. And there's so many other profiles that I don't want to ruin it for you. But the main key that I got from the book was that wise, mature readers are able to identify problems or challenges they have in their life, and they leverage good books to come up with solutions. So I just want to give a demonstration in this video of how I am leveraging books to be successful in different areas of my life. And before we transition to my little show and tell, just want to say that people read for 4 primary reasons. Number 1, for entertainment. People like to read books, especially fiction books, for escape. The second reason is for knowledge. They want to understand the world and themselves. The third reason is how-to. People read how-to books to learn about skills, and they apply it to be able to achieve what they want to achieve. And finally, the fourth reason people read is for inspiration. So I'll be touching on these different areas during my demonstration. So stick around. This year my goal is to read 50 books, an average of 1 book per week. And my appetite for reading ranges the whole spectrum. I read for entertainment at times, for knowledge, for how-to, as well as for inspiration. But one of the books that I like to read, it's a very simple book, and we'll probably go from simple to complex in this demonstration. Pull it out here. It's the Klutz Yo-Yo book. It's a real simple book to read, but my reason for reading it is I've always wanted to learn how to do some yo-yo tricks. Since childhood, I messed around with the yo-yo, but I never really got serious about it, so I figured I'd put some time in learning some tricks, and maybe I'll do some demonstrations once I get some tricks mastered. So that's one of the books of 50 that I plan on reading. The next book, along the same lines, is juggling. Again, I guess I'm going through this phase here where I'm thinking about childhood, but I've always wanted to learn how to juggle. I can juggle fairly well with 3 balls, but I want to get proficient at juggling. So I plan on getting through this simple book and putting the time into it and learning how to juggle. So this is another book that I like to read for this year. The next set of books are dealing with art. Last year, I didn't meet my goal of completing a sketchbook, but I like to continue that goal for this year. And there's a few books that I like to go over here. One is Keys to Drawing by Burke. It's a course on learning how to draw well. I have another book, Drawing Lab. It has 52 different exercises It makes drawing fun. It's almost like a kid's book, but I'm going back to my childhood, it seems like. So that's another book here, and I also have Keys to Drawing with Imagination. It's also by Burke, and it's along the lines of illustration. You know, I have a desire to not only write books, but also illustrate my own books. So as far as art's concerned, these are the 3 books that I plan on reading this year. And not just reading, but actually doing the exercises. So let's move on to the next thing. Last year I set a goal of completing a Spanish course. Technically I did Pimsleur Volume 1, but that's as far as I got. So I'd like to continue on with that goal, and I like to go through these books here, have Spanish for Dummies, give me a solid foundation of the Spanish grammar, and I have the Living Language series. I have the Beginner, Intermediate, and the Advanced book that I like to go through this year. And just as a side note, the late business philosopher Jim Rohn once said, "A formal education will get you a job, but a self-education will make you a fortune." Not that having a job is bad, but by creating your own curriculum and pursuing your own self-education, it will enrich your life and make you a fortune in all areas of your life. So on that note, let's continue on with some of the books. For those of you who have been subscribers for a while, you knew this one was coming. Have a chess book, How to Reassess Your Chess, 4th edition. I'd like to achieve the goal of mastery. Haven't reached it yet. I have gotten stronger as a chess player, but I feel that I'm getting close to getting to mastery with a few good books. The next one is 5,334 Problems. They're chess puzzles, and it's pretty massive. I went through half the book last year, but I want to go through the rest and work on my chess skills. And the last one here is Bobby Fischer, My 60 Memorable Games. One of the beautiful things about reading is the great equalizer. Reading levels the playing field. Regardless of your background, if you pick up a book, you're able to tap in to some of the greatest minds on whatever subject you're interested in. You know, Bobby Fischer is arguably probably the best chess player in history, at least one of the top 3. And with a book like this, I can go through his 60 master games and be able to spend some time with Bobby Fischer in conversation and acquire some of the understanding and skills that he has. So let's move on to the next set of books. The next book, just the other day I got a reading challenge idea. I love to travel. I haven't traveled in a while. I traveled to quite a few countries, but as you as a reader know that you can travel through books. And I came up with this reading challenge idea, and you can purchase yourself something like a geography coloring book, and it has pictures of the different countries of the world. For example, on page 37, pull it up here real quick. Page 37, you have a map here of Africa, the continent of Africa. And I came up with this idea. It would be a fun way to travel the world, is whenever you pick up a book of a particular state or a country, for example, in this case, it's History of the Sudan. You know, once I finish reading this book, I can go to this coloring book and kind of color in that country of Africa. And as I read books on different countries, I can fill out the map on this coloring book. Again, going back to my childhood, I see a pattern here. But yeah, I figure this would be a great way to inspire you to want to travel the world through books. The next one, we have a book club next month, February. They're going to have a discussion on the 1619 Project. I know very little about this book, but it kind of piqued my interest. And not only am I going to read this book, the 1619 Project, but I just recently placed an order from the library, a book titled Red, White, and Black. The editor is Robert L. Woodson Sr., and it's an opposing opinion to this book. So I want to read the opinion of 1619 Project as well as Red, White, and Black, and be able to digest it before this book club meeting next month, so that when it's time for discussion, I can formulate my own opinions based on my own research. Another book, this one is Atomic Habits. I went on Amazon recently, and in its category, it's the #1 bestseller. So I figure, want to see what the hype is about, read the book, and go from there. And I'd like to conclude with another set of books. The next set of 4 books deals with understanding and discovering the world around you. It's very important to have a well-balanced reading diet, whether it be reading for entertainment, for knowledge, for how-to skills, and for inspiration. It's very important to learn about the world that's being shaped as we speak by the movers and shakers, the architects of society. So some of the books, The Fourth Industrial Revolution by Klaus Schwab is one. Another book is The Age of Invisible Machines by Rob Wilson. The Future of Money, How the Digital Revolution is Transforming Currencies and Finance. And finally, The Singularity is Near by Ray Kurzweil. I encourage you to create your own self-education curriculum. As Jim Rohn had said, to create yourself a fortune. And as the chapter mentions, everyone, including you, can read and grow rich. I look forward to speaking with you in the next video. And of course, make it a great day.